Let me speak a little bit about Reggie Wright Jr.
The first thing I gotta point out is the guy looks like a weasel, man. Forget about a duck, man. If it looks like a weasel, swims like a weasel, and squirms like a weasel, then it's probably a weasel. And those eyes are not sparkling with dreams. Instead, they look like they've been marinating in Merlot and office despair since Q4 of 2021. If hope ever lived there, it must have quietly slipped out for a smoke break and never came back. His eyes looked so glazed over I half expected to see a Krispy Kreme hot and ready sign reflected in his pupils. If the eyes are the windows to one's soul, well, his must have left the building and forgot to close the blinds on the way out. Yeah, he's a wino and a weasel. The type to sneak into a party with a half-empty bottle of Franzia and leave with 3 of your ex's phone numbers and the host's good graces. And you'd think he's entirely harmless until the Cabernet's gone and so's your dignity.
Reggie's made it very clear in a lot of interviews that he went from never working for the FBI to working for Dan McMullen, for working for L.J. Conley, who was my partner, and that he was an FBI foreman. So I'm not...
An agent by the name of Dan McMullen, who was my supervisor, contacted Metropolitan Police Department at about 9 o'clock on September 9th.
To working for Dan McMullen.
An agent by the name of Dan McMullen, who was my supervisor.
To working for Dan McMullen.
An agent by the name of Dan McMullen, who was my supervisor.
To working for Dan McMullen.
An agent by the name of Dan McMullen, who was my supervisor.
Bill Carson, Greg Kading, these guys have no interest in ever solving the murder of Tupac and Biggie. Their job is to make sure that the investigation appears legitimate, and one of the ways they do this is by criticizing other law enforcement branches, like Reggie Wright, a former Compton police officer who later became a head Death Row Records bodyguard. And so, what do you see Carson doing? Criticizing Reggie Wright. And he also criticizes Greg Kading, but they're all on the same team, which is to never actually allow the public to find out how Tupac and Biggie were murdered. And with Biggie, it's like the only way that he could have been killed in front of all those police officers and emergency personnel is if the cops had some kind of involvement. You cannot do a murder in front of police officers who just shut down a party and were all around the venue. You can't do a murder in front of them unless you're a cop. I mean, unless there's some kind of police involvement. So, I mean, that's all there is to it, man. Now, all 3 of these cop clowns have published books and produced documentaries. Reggie Wright has an entire YouTube channel and hosts multiple podcasts, all centered around his time at Death Row Records and the murder of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. And this is done in a way to both subdue and mislead the public. The public is subdued because the documentaries, books, podcasts hosted by these men prove that they have been and still are interested in solving these murders, which gives the fans and general public a sense of relief because, hey, at least something is being done right. And this is a tactic that I refer to as the facade of checks and balances. Okay, it looks like there's a system of checks and balances that is in play here. But what is being done is pitching theories that are complete and total that will prevent the public from ever knowing the truth, which is that the police had their hands in both of these murders. Let us never forget that the loyalty gang members have towards one another is equally reflected amongst law enforcement officers. Whether in a gang or in law enforcement, when your superiors tell you to do something, you do it. Those who follow suit are greatly rewarded. Those who go against the grain lose respect and risk suffering personal attack or complete abandonment by said group. All 3 of them have entirely different theories, and this is not a coincidence. This is done by design. They point the finger at one another, like Greg Kading will point the finger at Reggie Wright for doing something. Reggie Wright will point the finger at Bill Carson for doing something. Phil Carson will point his finger at Greg Kading for doing something. It's all meant to keep the truth under wraps and to push multiple different theories and narratives so the murder never gets solved. And as long as multiple theories are being pushed, you're going to make it actually impossible for the murders to become solved. You understand how this works? And just like a regular gang, cops look at each other as family, right? They become each other's family. They will look out for each other like they are family. So you're not going to have cops selling out other cops, but their job is to try to get gang members to sell out other gang members. And it oftentimes does work with the deterrent of incarceration or loss of some kind of monetary gain, but that's besides the point. So these three cops, what is the incentive for them to truly go against the grain and really try to solve these murders? I'll wait. So now I'm going to end the video with this question. Is it merely a coincidence that the most popular Tupac Biggie murder investigation documentaries are all produced by former members of law enforcement? Greg Kading, LAPD cop, murder rap. Phil Carson, FBI agent. The Dossier, Tupac assassination. Frank Alexander, Orange County, California Sheriff Kevin Hackey, Compton Unified School District, along with Reggie Wright, who was also a Compton Unified Police officer. Leave a comment with your thoughts, opinions, or questions. Thanks for watching SmogDog949. Kindly asking you to please shoot that sub, bro. I need it. Man, I'm freaking sick, bro.